The Washington standoff over raising the United States government's $31.4 trillion borrowing limit is adding to global economic worries, as a new nonpartisan congressional report has cited a significant risk of a historic default within the first 2 weeks of June. The U.S. Congressional Budget Office report, issued Friday morning, confirms Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen's earlier warnings that a default could come as early as June 1. There is a significant risk that at some point in the first 2 weeks of June, the government will no longer be able to pay all of its obligations. The scorekeeper also noted that the federal government's debt payments will remain uncertain throughout May, even if the Treasury ultimately runs out of funds in early June. President Joe Biden and his Democratic colleagues in Congress have urged prompt action to raise the $31.4 trillion statutory limit on government borrowing without conditions since the beginning of the year. Republicans, who narrowly control the House of Representatives, want new limits on future spending nailed down before they give the green light on more payments to cover borrowing on previously enacted G7
spending.
finance officials in Japan. World Bank President David Malpass said the looming risk of a default, which would be the first in U.S. history, was adding to problems facing the slowing global economy. Clearly, distress in the world's biggest economy would be negative for everyone, Malpass told Reuters on the sidelines of the G7 meeting. Next week, Biden is scheduled to attend a G7 leaders meeting in Nagata, Japan, but said this week he could cancel his trip if he and congressional leaders were not making enough progress towards a debt limit increase. White House spokesperson Karine Jean-Pierre told reporters that the staff-level talks, which started on Tuesday, have been productive, though she declined to provide specifics.
They're going to meet over the weekend.
I think that should kind of tell you that the conversations are going in the right direction, she added. A meeting between Biden and Democratic and Republican congressional leaders that had been tentatively planned for Friday was postponed until sometime early next week as both sides haggle over what spending could be cut in the 2024 budget. The standoff was starting to show its effects outside of Washington. On Friday, the University of Michigan reported its twice-monthly reading of consumer sentiment showed households have the bleakest view of the economy in 6 months, in no small part thanks to the debt ceiling showdown.